Hello guys, this is DJ Studios and welcome to this week's review, and this week we're going to review Knock Knock. And I think that this episode is the best episode that we've had this series so far. The idea behind this episode is that Bill and her friends, I would say, are buying a house, and they come across this house that's very cheap, but it's got a weird landlord, and this landlord is played by David Suchet, who plays his part very well. And there appears to be, but this house is very old, and people put their feet on the floorboards and they creak and that kind of stuff, and it seems to be very much further. That idea is taken further between when you put your foot on a creaky floorboard to when you put your foot on a creaky floorboard and it takes you in, or when you create a loud amount of noise and it calls them to you, and they come and you get put into the wall to feed a wooden woman. So this episode is great, I think. The reasons why I think it's great is because there's the twist at the end is good. It's the idea of, I think, well, obviously it's not, I'm going to say it's like a normal thing for a child to be younger than a mother, or look younger than a mother, but this episode shows it in a different way. It shows that the mother is the young one, and the son is the older one, and it's sort of twisted mother and son on its head, and it's shown David Suchet to be a son and this wooden woman to be the mother. And I think that it's the balance of power of being, I think, because there's my dad example spends quite a lot of time at his mum's house looking after her, and that is kind of thing. When I was watching, I was thinking, I this kind of feels like what my dad does constantly. I just thought it was quite an interesting thing, because sons always look after their mothers when they get older, and that is what he's doing, but he's doing it in a very different way, because he's been doing it since he was 9, and he was like 9, and then he's grown up, and slowly and this wooden woman is fully formed, but the wooden woman is scary as hell. Like, wow, that would have taken a long time of prosthetics to get that done, because that is layers and layers of paint, and making it look textured as well. The wigs, because it's a full costume of this, and it must be quite difficult to wear that sort of costume through the entire episode, or through the entire time they had to film their scenes. They would have to wear all of that, and I think that would have been a massive problem and a massive thing for the actress who wore it, because she would have been completely isolated in this suit the entire time. I don't know how they actually made the suit. There's some behind the scenes thing on YouTube, that's been uploaded as I speak, that shows how the woman got into the suit and out of the suit and that kind of stuff. Bill's friends. So I thought that her friends were completely. Well, I knew from the beginning that we shouldn't get too attached at all. These characters are dead. That none of them will survive this episode. It was clear, no one's surviving. Everybody's going to be dead. It's so obvious. And I was right, but I think that the idea to then bring them all back was obviously a good idea to end off the story, but not something that when you've invested so much time, when you invested this time watching these characters die, and you know that you shouldn't get too attached to them because they will be dead. It leaves a bit of a sour cliche in your mouth, I think. A sour taste of cliche in your mouth when the complete cast that have died during the episode are re put back together for very little, reasoning apart from she's bringing them back because she can do that. I like the complex web on how that entire situation worked, and I thought that the creepy idea of these floorboards, the creepy idea of the floorboards coming in the lightning and the night setting and everything like that was very well filmed, I think. I like the idea that she comes outside, because the idea is that this house is the bad place that you can honestly get, you can get eaten alive in. But then the idea later on, when one of them dies, is that, wait a second, nowhere's safe, because outside the trees are still gonna try and kill you as well. The trees outside are gonna kill you. I think that is a great plot point. And finally, I probably should talk about the door teaser thing. So, it's beginning to come into a bit of a format now. So, beginning of the episode, we get this Bill and Doctor talk. And then we have the whole episode, it plays out, it has a conclusion. And then we have the door scene. Which I was hoping that this time it was going to open, but sadly, nothing. I think I'm going to be saying this every week until it opens, but it's something that the Doctor is not afraid of, which does interest me. So it's definitely not the Mondasian Cybermen inside of that door. It is somebody that he knows. It still could be Gallifrey, but it could be the Master, or it could even be Missy. It could be anyone, really. But it's not the Mondasian Cybermen. So, because why would the Mondasian Cybermen be playing the piano? Or why would the Mondasian Cybermen be... why would he be giving them Chinese food? Or Mexican food? Which... Wait, what? What is Mexican food? But, yeah, I thought that was genius. So I thought this entire episode was genius. Pretty, in a nutshell, genius. The villain was great. The villain was great. The characters were great, even though that you can't still even say their names. The general plot itself, and I'll call it a plot twist, was great. The tease again. I think that this tease is just something that keeps niggling at you to try and watch the next episode, because when I watch this episode, I'm just going, yes, come on, door open next time, oh my god. It's like like a two-parter, so next time, and it's like, I will probably scream when that door opens. I'm 80% sure I'll scream when that door opens. I don't know, it's possible. Just like the door opens, it's like, I'm so glad that my house is not made of wood. Because if it was... Right, that's made of wood. Right, I'm now just checking that everything is not made of real wood. Oh no. Right, so... Thank you guys for watching. This has been DHS Studios. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a like. Before I go, I just wanted to say that I'm going to start doing a series when I'm going to build a sonic screwdriver. I'm hoping to do the first one this weekend, then the second one in a couple of weeks, that kind of stuff. So this will take a very long time. It's going to be like 6 months. I think, to be able to build this thing. But I'm going to try and, really go through it so I can build a sonic screwdriver, and also show you how you build a sonic screwdriver while it goes on. And I can actually do a detailed sort of look over it and try and make those episodes quite short as well. So if you're looking forward to that and you want to give any suggestions on how you actually build one of these sonic screwdriver, then please put it down below. As well as I'm going to do some old Doctor Who episode reviews very, very soon. I bought the 10th Planet, which is like the Cybermen's first episode of Mondasian Cybermen, from Mondas. I've recently watched Earthshock, and I watched the Moonbase earlier. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been DAJ Studios. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give a like. Plenty more videos on the way, like I always say. Goodbye.